My name is Aaron Austin, and I am the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students here at Wichita State University. My primary responsibility is safety of students. I want everybody to have a safe experience. Specifically as a Black man, the stigma is deeper in that we are told constantly that you've got to be strong and that feelings are not something, right? You kind of put that aside and kind of man up and do these all kind of things. And I think it's there for men, but I think it's even deeper for Black men. And so I think it's important for us to realize that we need this just as much as anybody else. And in some ways, I would say we need it even more. When we think about the pressures of being Black in our society that are constantly on us, the fact that we walk into spaces, especially here at Wichita State, where there's not a lot of faces who look like ours. And so there's a weight that goes with that. There's a whole there's a whole concept of racial battle fatigue, that we are constantly being inundated by these racial incidents and comments and microaggressions and everything, and so that wears on you, and it wears you down, and it's like a physical beating, but obviously it's on the inside, right? So it is part of our mental health, and so to be able to take the steps that we need to take to address that. In 2018, my mom passed, and I didn't think that was going to hit me in the way that it had, or the way that it did, and so I tried really hard to just kind of keep pressing on and keep moving and going through it. And while I knew I was sad, right, obviously, I didn't realize the depth of it. And so there was one day when I had gone, I was gone to the YMCA to work out, and I was sitting there in my car, and I just could not get out. I just couldn't. There was nothing. And so I actually think what I had was some sort of like a panic attack. It's just that I couldn't do anything. And I was just sitting there in my car, and I didn't know what it was. I just couldn't do anything. So I was able to finally get in my car and drive back home and tell my wife what had happened, and she said, you've got to see someone. That this has just been too much. You've been carrying it and you haven't done anything with it. I met with a therapist regularly. Now it's not as regularly, but I still to me, it's much more like a checkup. I'll kind of go in every now and then, like we do for our physical health. But I met regularly with him to kind of get through and to get a better understanding of what was happening and what I was doing. And through that, I actually learned that I have anxiety, and I never really knew that. I just kind of thought everybody must feel this way. That's kind of what this is, and so everybody must have these days where it's really hard to do anything, and that's just kind of what life is. And despite the fact that I had worked in this field for a long time, and it helped students with coming to grips with their own mental health and how to take better care, I've referred students to counseling multiple times. I had talked about the benefits of therapy multiple times to multiple students. I had talked this talk multiple times, but had never really noticed it in myself, that this anxiety, and then, through my mom and everything else, I was also diagnosed with depression. And so to have all this as being my own, it was kind of this really wake-up call that this is really everyone, right? Everybody has mental health, right? Right? We all have physical health. That's just where it is, how we manage it and what we're doing with it. And so it was a wake-up call for me to really kind of realize, okay, this is my deal. And I fully understand the difficulties in kind of reaching out and understanding that, because there is such a stigma related to it. And I would like to think that I wasn't falling victim to the stigma, but I mean, I guess in some ways I did. I just thought this is just life. This is just life, and life is hard. But I make it harder for myself. My mind makes it harder for myself. So it's important for me to find these ways to kind of deal with that. If we're thinking about here on campus, we have the variety of resources here through CAPS that students can take advantage of to find resources now. More than ever, I think we're trying to put that out there to folks about the importance of mental health. And I just want people to think, to students especially, to sit and think about, that it's all right. That if you feel a way that you don't want to feel, that it's all right to talk to somebody about that, to get help for that, and to not have to kind of sit and suffer through it, right? Yet there's an opportunity to feel better, right? Now we all have feelings, right? And there's a difference in being sad. Like today I'm sad, like, okay, well, right, that, right? Sad is one thing, but if you feel like that sadness, right, is really deep and doesn't pass, then I think it's okay to reach out. It is okay to reach out and try to find somebody else to help you.